What's up, everyone? Mr. NoobTube Gamer. Today we're playing Fallout 76 in 2024, 6 years later. I remember the huge controversy surrounding this game. When it first came out, everybody hated on it and said it was like the worst thing that Bethesda's ever done, and it was just filled with so many bugs. The world was just empty. There was no NPCs that you can actually talk to and communicate with. It was all just dead bodies all over the place and you just picking up holotapes. It was so empty and lifeless, and there wasn't really much to do in the game when it first released. They did kind of remedy that. They added a lot of content, including talkable NPCs that you can interact with, and a whole bunch of other content. They added the pit, Atlantic City recently, so they're still pumping out content for this game. It's still a supported game that is getting regular updates. So that is a huge thing. Like when we're talking about online only games, especially in 2024, a lot of these live service games fail pretty hard pretty quickly. So 6 years later, they're usually either shut down or just dead, abandoned. But if you're trying to jump into this game, especially if you're a new player or whatever, like it's good to know that there's still stuff going on here that you can enjoy and that it's actually still pretty relevant game to play. The one thing that they promised they were going to do, since Todd Howard revealed the game at E3 2018, one of the big features that was advertised for 76 was mod support, and to this day, that has still not happened, and at this point, it's safe to say that it never will. Not sure why. I don't know, like, why they couldn't just do, like, what they do with DayZ, where they have, like, a server browser, and you can just download the mods through the workshop or whatever, and just be as easy as that. But for some reason, they didn't want to implement mods. They changed their mind. They figured it was bad, probably for their microtransactions, because they sell like all these little cute outfits and all these different like workshop items. If they have mods that essentially like makes that whole thing useless, then the game is no longer commercially viable, right? So I think that was the main reason why they didn't put mods into Fallout 76, is because it definitely would have decreased players' engagements with the Atom Shop and the microtransactions, similar to how they were going to add the stock market onto GTA Online. I know we're talking about a different game here, but same thing. Like, it would have fucked with their microtransactions and their shark cards if they actually let people trade the stock market and make a shit ton of money, like, without paying real money for it. Like, they're not going to let that happen. So, yeah, it's very disappointing because I feel like this game would be so much better than it is if they implemented mods into the game, but sadly, not gonna happen. And don't assume, like, if you're a Fallout fan, if you loved Fallout 4, and especially New Vegas and Fallout 3, like, don't just, like, assume because you loved Fallout or you're into the TV show or whatever, that you're just automatically gonna fall in love with this game and you're gonna love everything about it. I was a huge fan of Fallout 4. It is probably my most played game on Steam, or my second most played game, with hundreds upon hundreds of hours logged in, and plus another 2,000 hours on the Xbox One. So I know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about Fallout, and I played New Vegas multiple times over. I played Fallout 3 multiple times over. The only ones I don't know nothing about are the old ones, the isometric games, Fallout 1 and 2. But for someone especially who would say that Fallout 4 is my favorite game in the series, and this game is pretty much based off of Fallout 4, I do not like 76 for a few reasons. First, I don't feel like the gameplay, it just feels like for a AAA online game, it just like the gameplay for Fallout 4 just doesn't do it. Like, because that's what Fallout 76 is. It's the same exact gunplay and everything that 4 has, just thrown into an online world and mostly teaming up with people and doing quests and raids and a bunch of shit together, which is fun, I guess. But the world itself just isn't as interesting to me as the Commonwealth in Fallout 4. I feel like they just threw a whole bunch of shit together to keep player engagement. Like, they added the Brotherhood of Steel and all these factions. It really doesn't make sense for them to be there, considering the timeline of this game and the lore of Fallout. Like, there'd be no reason for the Brotherhood of Steel to already be, like, this well established, and they got all these, like, different things that just kind of break the lore a little bit, which admittedly most people aren't going to care about. But I just personally found the world of Fallout 4 much more engaging, and the characters a lot more interesting. The story, despite the writing problems that Fallout 4 had, was still a lot better written and more polished than what we got in 76, where it's just a complete mess. And the whole camp building thing, which is one of the main big points of this game also, I would just rather build the settlements in Fallout 4 and build what I want with no restrictions, because it's very restricted in Fallout 76. You're just building like a tiny little base, while in Fallout 4 you can build entire fucking cities. So I don't really see the point in playing this over 4 unless I have like a friend who really loves Fallout and is like, dude, we need to play this together. Then I guess I would, but since I don't have any friends, then I don't have to worry about that. Never mind friends that play Fallout. Anyway, yeah, the game's not very good for solo play. Like, they say that you can do it, but it just doesn't feel right. Like, you're definitely at a huge disadvantage, and it's a lot harder to level up and do things. Like, you're usually just doing things, like, if you are playing by yourself, you run into random people and do stuff with other people anyway. And there pretty much is no PvP. They used to push PvP really hard. They had I think it was called Nuclear Winter Battle Royale, but it wasn't very popular and people didn't really play it, so they got rid of that mode and removed it. And you also can't really just do random gunfights and grief other players like you can in something like GTA Online, where you can just blow people up and fuck with them. Like, you pretty much, like, the two people have to agree to engage in the gunfight in order for it to actually happen. Like, you shoot at someone, but they won't take any damage unless they shoot you back. And it's just it's not really fun anyway. Like, it doesn't really add anything to the game. Like, it's pretty much a PvE game exclusively. So that's a big bummer if like PvP is what your main thing is, because you're not really going to have that in this game. And also, if you have friends that that play on other consoles or other systems than you do, like let's say you're on PC and your friend's on PlayStation or Xbox, then you're shit out of luck, unfortunately, because the game does not support any crossplay whatsoever. That's going to be a big deal breaker for a lot of people, because it's something that we're used to with modern games, and this is a game that's still being supported, so you can still call it a modern game, and it's a huge feature that's lacking in the game that is probably stopping it from growing beyond what it already is. But if you are playing on console, obviously if you have a PS4 and PS5, you guys can play with each other because the game is backwards compatible. It didn't actually get a PS5 release. It got enhanced a little bit. It got a 60 FPS patch, so it does run better on the PS5. It doesn't look much better, but it certainly plays better. And same thing with the Series X version. It got a 60 FPS boost as well. So if you are a console gamer, it's definitely better to play on the new consoles. But if you have a new console, you're going to play it on that anyway and not dust up your old PS4 or Xbox One. But of course, the PC is the best version, as it typically is with almost all games that are multi-platform. It just sucks, though. The fact that this is probably going to be the newest Fallout game for like another 10 plus years, most likely. The way Bethesda's been taking their time with releasing games, it's probably going to be like 2030 something. 2032, 2033 is probably when Fallout 5 is coming. So this is it. If you're a Fallout fan, you want new content, you got to settle for this game. Let me know if you guys still play this game in 2024 and what your overall experiences with this game. Did you love it? And especially like if you were a Fallout fan, like how did you feel coming into this game, and did it exceed your expectations or did you hope for something more? Let me know in the comments down below. As always, thank you all for watching. I love you all. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.